Awesome. All right, and so now someone wrote a little bit of a more detailed thing regarding culling predators.
Great.
So hello, Dr. Milburn. My question relates to the issue of predation and the rights of wild animals. It's basically name the trait, but applied to the ethics of killing predators. Name the trait is a sort of a formalization of like a marginal cases type argument. Here, I think to explain it well enough here, but presumably you would morally approve of someone shooting and killing a predator, like a lion, that was about to eat an innocent human being alive, provided that using lethal force was the only way to save that human. So my question is, would it be morally justified in your view to shoot and kill a predator that eats innocent non-human animals alive to survive, also provided that using lethal force is the only way to save these animals? If you provide different answers in the human versus animal context, then what's the morally significant difference between the first and the second case that justifies the difference in treatment?
Brilliant. What a great question. That's a fantastic question. Okay. Let me think. Okay, so the first thing to say is when we're using lethal force to defend the innocent, I'm going to appeal to ethics of warfare again here. When we're applying lethal force to protect the innocent, we need to ask about proportionality. Okay, so if I see an innocent human who is about to be here's a nice example. Let's say I see an innocent human is about to have her hair bobble stolen from her hair, right? Which will be slightly painful and she'll lose some of her property, okay? And the only way I could feasibly stop this, because I happened to be at the time looking through the scope of a sniper rifle, the only way I could feasibly stop this is a headshot, okay? A headshot on the person who's going to steal the bauble. I do not think that is justified. That is a disproportionate response, even though it is protecting the innocent. What's the relevance of this? Well, I believe that non-human animals, in most cases, right, there's going to be an obvious marginal cases / species overlap concern here, but in most cases, non-human animals have a weaker interest in continued life than do humans. That means that the killing of a lion may, I'm just setting out an area here, I'm not necessarily endorsing anything, but the killing of a lion may be proportionate when it comes to protecting an innocent human, while it may not be proportionate when it comes to protecting an innocent gazelle, given the relative levels of harm. That is the harm of death to the human, the harm of death to the gazelle. So that's one set of considerations. A second set of considerations concerns the, how can I put this, the normatively salient relationships that exist in particular cases. So I think that we might have, again, this is an in many cases situation, and I'm not appealing to a bright species line here, but in many cases we may have more obligations to assist humans than we do to assist wild animals because of the kinds of relationships we're in with them. An extreme example might be if the person who is about to be attacked by a lion is someone who has contracted me to act as their bodyguard. Right? In that case, I clearly have a very significant normative relationship with them that might even mandate me to intervene in certain kinds of cases. However, there are going to be counterexamples to both of these when you might say, well, in that case, you might say that in those counterexample cases, where the normatively salient relationships do not hold between me and the human, and or the different levels of interest in continued life between the human and the wild prey animal don't hold. And in those kind of cases, it does seem to be a completely relevantly similar situation. So our response should be the same in each case. What's my response?
Yeah. Are we killing the lions?
Are we killing the lions? I think that's an absolutely excellent question. My instinct right now is to say that if animals have rights, they have to have rights to self-defense, and we can defend them when doing so is proportionate. So I'm open to the suggestion that we could defend animals by killing their predators. However, I'm certainly not of the view that would be mandatory because of the lack of existing relationship between us and the wild animals. I do think it might be mandatory for me to protect my dog using lethal force if that's the only route open and it's proportionate. But I think that it's important to draw a distinction between mandatory action and permissible action. So I think this self-defense argument is very, very clever, and I think it's a great way to force me to become an interventionist. And this is exactly what I mean about the fact that I end up being a very conservative interventionist, because it seems like a lot of my arguments, although they seem to start from a non-interventionist place, end up quite interventionist when certain kinds of considerations are applied. But yes, fantastic question. Thank you.
Okay. So